Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Welcome back, folks. This is the More Money Show. We are on WABC and stations throughout these United States. Thank you so much to our loyal audience for sticking with us. This is our fifth year on at More Money, and our ratings are very good, thanks to people like you. And by the way, thanks to people like John Catsimatidis, who was the owner of WABC and gave me my first shot in radio. We also have on, by the way, EJ Antoni, one of the top economists in the country, works at the chief economist at the Heritage Foundation, works with me at Unleash Prosperity. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. By the way, John Catsimatidis, we got a good jobs report yesterday. It looks like the economy is starting to really heat up again, which is very good news. What's your take?
The economy is great. The problem we have is with the Iranians. And there's two sets of Iranians. The joke I tell on my radio show is it's like dealing with the planet of the apes. You got the chimpanzees, the intelligent Persians, Iranians, and you have the gorillas that they just want to be agitators and they just want to be killers. And President Trump is trying to make heads and tails with them, trying to open up the Strait of Hormuz, which is very important. Bring down the price of oil, because 10 minutes after we open up the Strait of Hormuz and we have peace, the price of oil comes back down to $55 to $65 a barrel, and it comes back down to under $3 a gallon.
Wow!
And
so that's a
And
huge.
once that happens, Steve, once that happens, the media is blaming the high prices and inflation. There is no inflation. The inflation comes from a temporary what's happening right now with the price of $100 oil. Yeah. And you got to remember, the OPEC nations and the people that are producing the oil are making an extra $400 billion a month, or maybe much more than that. I didn't do the calculation. But they don't mind waiting another few days, because every few days they wait, they make a lot of money.
So,
and
John,
we got to bring down the interest rates, and we got to bring down the price of energy, and that's the only way. That way, we have a great November.
So when I talk to energy experts, and obviously you are an energy expert, you're in the energy business yourself, people are telling me that it can take several months to get the oil price back down to where it was back in January and February. By the way, it was an all-time low back then. But they're saying that there's been so much damage to the energy infrastructure due to what's happened in the Middle East, and also the fact that so many of the reserves of countries like the United States have been depleted, that it will take a bit, maybe 6 months or so, for that price of gas to really come down. What's your response to that?
That's wrong. Ask President Trump, ask Secretary Bessick. It's wrong. The price of oil will come down within 10 days.
Wow. Okay, you're a newsmaker, John. All right, folks, we're gonna when the fighting is over in Iran and when they surrender, we're gonna have John Catsimatidis on 2 weeks after that, and we will see whether the gas price is back down to. By the way, I was paying $2 a gallon before all this started, John. So you're saying I might pay $2 a gallon again?
I think you would be paying that for sure 2 weeks, 3 weeks after we have peace.
All right. Let me turn to EJ Antoni, who is an excellent economist, and he's also a specialist in labor economics. Tell me, and our listeners, EJ, you did an excellent report on this new report that came out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics on the job situation. I see from that report that there were, 150,000 jobs created, but I also was looking at this other indicator that shows there's 500,000 fewer people working today than a year ago. So what is your take on it, EJ?
Well, Steve, great question. Basically, we have a couple different ways that we try to measure the labor market, right? One of which is we ask businesses.
Hold on, EJ, just one second. Hey, John Catsimatidis, you have to mute when you're off. Thank you. Okay. Okay, go ahead, EJ.
We ask businesses, how many payrolls do you have at your firm? And from that, we get the jobs number every month. But then we also survey households, and we ask questions like, how many people are employed in your household? And we ask all kinds of demographic questions and some other things. And so one of the reasons why this was such a good report is because not only did you see the number of jobs go up by quite a bit, over 170,000, but then you had the previous 2 months revised up by over 90,000 combined. So you get over 260,000 additional jobs than the previous level. But then the survey of households showed that for the first time this year, more people were employed. So that's a really, really positive change. And that's where we start talking about the employment level, not the number of jobs, but the employment level compared to a year ago is still down. Now, there's a lot of different reasons for that, some of which is, I think, just statistical anomalies, but some of it also has to do with things like a person can get more than one job, right? I can have a full-time job, then get a part-time job on top of that, and that will increase the number of jobs without actually increasing the number of people employed.
So where are we at right now, EJ, with wages? You know, our friend at Unleashed Prosperity has done a report saying, the average median income family income is up about $3,000 over the last 18 months. What's the wage story?
The wage story is still positive compared to when President Trump took office. So that means that your paycheck does go further. The thing that I think has people feeling so pessimistic, Steve, is the fact that since the Iran war started, we've reversed some of that progress. We haven't given it all back, but we have given some of it back. Now, as John Catsimatidis and you were just saying, this is a temporary disruption because of what's going on with the war in Iran. And so once you get all of that sorted out and oil prices come back down, then the temporary inflation shock and all of the associated price adjustments with that, whether it's gas and diesel or whether it's fertilizer prices, et cetera, once all those come back down, then you'll get right back to having wages grow faster than prices.
So, John Catsimatidis, what is going on with all this rich bashing that's going on with the Democrats? We don't want any millionaires and billionaires, and they're chasing out of New York, they're chasing out of California, they're chasing.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Chasing them out of Seattle. It's almost as if our businessmen and women who created these great businesses are villains. I mean, you've been an incredibly successful businessman yourself, but Mamdani basically says, we don't want the rich people here.
Well, it's a game being played. And I just told very important people in the media business that the game being played is, let's take Newark, New Jersey. They hire $50,000 worth of agitators to create like a New York play, and they spend $50,000 on agitators, maybe $100,000, and they get $1 zillion worth of advertising on every major network, ABC, CBS, NBC, and guess what? All of America thinks that this is a serious business, but all they are is paid agitators. And the American networks are going along with it. And the FCC, I'm going to talk to the president about it. The FCC has to know what the heck is going on with these guys, because if we don't bring down these agitators that are paid political agitators, they are conning the American public by having all these major networks rebroadcast the play they are putting on.
Well, the other problem, John, as you know, is that when you try to punish people who are successful in business and major employers in New York City, they move out of New York City, and that leaves the poor even worse off and fewer jobs. And unfortunately, that's what Mamdani is talking about.
Mamdani is playing the violin to his supporters. That's what he's doing, because he is a great, what should we say? He knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
He knows how to he has a zillion supporters on social media.
The word we use for that is he's a demagogue.
Well, he is another Fidel Castro. He's another. He knows how to. It's a different kind of political arena right now. It's a different kind of war. The war that was going on in Iran with these drones, and by the way, the soldiers going into are going to be like the Terminator 1. We're going to have in the future. We have drones that are going in the air. There was drones that are going underwater and coming up out of the air. And in the future, you're not going to have soldiers on the ground. You're probably going to have a Terminator 1s like we saw in the movies.
So, EJ, swinging it back
the world has changed, and we have to get used to the war. We got to get used to the new world. And right now, politicians are using social media. The guy in California that is coming up on the numbers. They're using social media, no longer using radio and television, no longer using newspapers, no longer using the United States mail. They are using social media to advertise among their people. And if we don't straighten out the right to vote, American citizens being the only ones to vote, we're gonna hurt our country in a big way.
Well, John, that's exactly what John Fund was talking about earlier on the show, that we have no ballot protection in this country. There's still, by the way, here we are almost a week after the election in California. They're still counting tens of thousands of ballots. We don't even know who's going to be on the ballot in November because of this sickening system. They don't even have they don't even have voter ID in California.
In California, which is stupid.
It's ridiculous. So, but I want to go back to EJ on the economy, if I may, because this is what everybody is concerned about. Every single poll shows that Americans are angry about gas prices, about food prices, about healthcare prices. But EJ, I'm seeing vast improvement. I'm looking at some of the numbers, manufacturing making a comeback, construction. The numbers are really good there. Investment by American businesses. And I tie a lot of this to the Trump tax cuts. I think the Trump tax cuts were an enormous stimulus to the economy and creating jobs and creating investment and creating construction projects in the country. What say you?
Yeah, Steve, I'd say given where oil is today, it's a miracle we're adding any jobs at all. So absolutely.
Yeah, right.
I think the tax agenda has been a big help, but also I truly believe, and I know we've talked about this before, but I think the unsung hero of this administration, Steve, is the deregulatory agenda.
Yes.
They have managed to cut over 120 rules for every new one they've added. I mean,
and by the way, EJ, we're estimating at Unleashed Prosperity, $1 trillion of business savings, which is passed on to consumers and makes our businesses more productive and profitable.
Exactly, Steve. That's exactly right. They're getting rid of so much bureaucratic red tape and at such an astonishing pace. Again, to me, that is really that's just the unsung hero, the deregulatory agenda, the unsung hero of this administration. And so I think where the negative sentiment is coming from is the fact that people they did not arrive at this present moment after 4 years of a strong Trump economy. They had 4 years of a lousy Biden economy where prices rose faster than wages. And so once you got Trump back into office, and after not even a whole year in office, he managed to get wages growing faster than prices. So we were digging our way out of the hole. People were feeling better. But now, because of what's happened with Iran and with prices, again, rising faster than incomes, now people who have not yet even dug out of the hole from Biden are falling behind again. And I think that's why they feel so lousy. They're in the hole. They got a taste of what it was like to start digging out. And now they feel like they're going backwards again. So once this gets reversed, I'm hoping the sentiment reverses in a big way too.
I think it will. I think when there's nothing better than creating jobs and higher wages, and that's what Trump is doing. By the way, John, you've known Donald Trump for probably decades. What grade would you give him in terms of his handling the economy? Did we lose John?
Okay, I took it off from mute, and I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, Donald Trump is an 11. He is doing everything possible.
He's off the charts.
Possible.
Yeah.
So he is running the economy. He's not running it as a Democrat or independent or Republican. He's running it as a businessman.
We're back, folks, for our final segment of the More Money Hour. Thanks so much for joining. By the way, I want to remind everyone, if you want to be the smartest person in the room, if you want to understand every day what's going on with economics and politics, get our free hotline. Go to unleashprosperity.com and push the button for hotline, and we will send that to you every over. John, of course, is the president of WABC and a businessman extraordinaire. Okay, John, lightning round. I have two questions for you. Are you ready?
I am ready. And I'm sorry for the noise. I'm sitting in Southampton at the 75 Main Street, and the sun is shining, and it's a beautiful day. And I'd rather be on the
look, John, the sun is shining on America. Here are my two questions for you. Number one, this is the most important question of the day, John. Can you get me some Knicks tickets?
For $100,000 for front row seats, I can get you a deal.
Well, come on, John. I'm worth it. I've been doing this show for 5 years. But why? Did you watch the game last night, John?
I watched the game last night. It was a great game. They won. We squeaked it out, so I think we're ahead of the curve.
Okay, that leads me to my second question. We literally have 45 seconds left. Can New York City make a comeback like the New York Knicks have made?
The New York City can make a comeback. Never bet against New York. If we all gang up together and want common sense, you got to have common sense in Albany, and you have to have common sense in New York City. And New York is the greatest city in the world, and we can make a comeback.
Yeah, it sure has. Well, John, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to do this show. We are on all over the country. Folks, we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a wonderful weekend, and keep working for freedom.